right, in this video, we're discussing the animated object behavior. So that little skit that I put on was just something that I thought would be fun to put together and enter into the combat contest. Obviously, it's just a joke. I don't expect to win, but it's, it was just a humorous way to demonstrate this behavior. Uh, the animated object behavior is for animated objects, obviously, but it's great for scenarios like this, right? Because in this scenario, I really didn't need the bunny, for example, to act like a bunny, right? If I put the mammal behavior on this bunny, I'm too close to it, right? As soon as I started the game, it would run away. That's what it's programmed to do. So I can't just let it be a bunny. So instead, what I did was I added the animated object behavior to it, and that allowed me to isolate just one animation that this bunny has and loop that over and over again. I actually did the same thing with Godzilla over there. I could have made him a character, but I had a little difficulty with that. So instead, I applied the same animated object behavior to him, which really just loops the walking behavior that comes with that model. And so to kind of put the entire sequence together, you can see I've got a lot of junk sitting here in the background. One of these zones is really just triggering the event, the sequence of events. The other zone is taking the HUDs away, just so I didn't have to fuss with that when the level started. That's then logic linked to a zone over here that has a timed event, because I needed enough time to elapse for where that text at the top of the screen goes away in test mode, just so it didn't show up in the video. Then that's triggering add movement. So add movement we've discussed in a previous video, and that is what is actually causing Godzilla to move across the scene. It's just moving that object over. So as he's doing his animated walking, it appears that he's actually got movement, when really that's kind of a trick of the behaviors. Then we have the hide show named. That's getting triggered to hide the bunny and show the blood after the stomp. And that was really just getting the timing right, just figuring out like how long does it take for Godzilla to get over there. And it took quite a while to get Godzilla lined up so that his footfall would be in the appropriate spot. So that was challenging, but we got it to work. And then lastly, I've got another timed event here, and I think that one is actually causing the blood to show up. So one of those things is hiding the bunny. The other thing is actually making the blood show up, and it's just timed perfectly to do that. But let's talk about animated object. That's what everybody's here for. So with animated object, first you're able to select the animation that you want to loop. So you really only get to choose the one, but it just loops that animation over and over. So that's perfect in this scenario, because the bunny, I didn't want him running away. I needed him to just sit there passively and take it like a man. So he's just going to loop the idle animation. The animation speed is already set up in the animal, and it's at the appropriate speed. So I didn't really have to adjust the animation speed there, but that speed adjustment could be affected by a variable switch. And we've talked about that in previous videos as well. I'll leave links to those two videos that you have referenced in case you haven't seen them. But basically, let's imagine instead of a bunny, it's a machine, like a steam engine or something. And I want to, press a lever and make the steam engine go faster. So it's playing the same spin. It's just playing it at a faster rate. That's what a variable switch would do. In this case, it doesn't make sense to do that, but that's like one example that you could use a variable switch and make the speed change at will. So that's what this drop down is for, but in this case, again, doesn't really apply. You have the use sound variance. The use sound variance checkbox means if the object that you're animating has a sound variant attached, really that would apply to a situation like this where it's a character and has sound variance kind of assigned to it. If I tick this box, what we would have heard was essentially whimpering and whining as if the bunny knew its fate and was dreading the inevitable. I didn't want that. It broke my heart to listen to it. I had to turn that off. So I unticked that box. Or in the other scenario that I described, like let's say it's a machine that's running and then you might have a different kind of sound being played. That's what this sound slot is for. So if you look here in the description, it says the sound is for the animation sound. So again, going back to that machine, it's got like a turbine or something that's spinning. You might have like a sound, kind of mechanical whirling sound or something like that. And that's where that would go. And then lastly, you have the player can take loot tick box. Now, again, this would only really apply in the scenario that I've got here where it's a character. A character can have loot. If the character dies, it can drop loot. So if I tick that box and then you get a couple more options here, right? So if I tick that box, the bunny could die because I shot it, for example, right? Bunny falls over dead, drops loot. What is the chance of it dropping anything within its loot table? And then what is it that it has available to be loot? Right now, the things that are showing up here are things that are listed as collectible from the project's perspective. So if you wanted something that you've made, let's say, pack of chewing gum or something like that, then you would have to make that object, put it as a collectible object, and then it would show up in the loot table. You could select it. But in this case, didn't really make any sense to do that. It wasn't really the point of the video. So I unticked that box and that went away. Same basic concept with Godzilla. It's just playing a walking animation. Nothing really fancy there. So that's the animated object behavior explained. If you enjoyed the video or if you learned anything new, please be sure to click the like button down below. It helps me out a lot. Makes me feel good too. If you're new here, if you just haven't subscribed yet, would love to have you stick around. We're getting really, really close to 1,000 subscribers, which just blows my mind. I never really thought that we even have as many subscribers as we do. And I thank each and every one of you for subscribing. It really makes me feel great. And I really want to just keep going. So be sure to subscribe. And then lastly, if you'd like a notification for whenever a new video is posted, I do try to keep a regular schedule once a week these days, but I also may post occasional videos that are outside of that regular schedule, and you wouldn't want to miss one of those. So the bell icon's your friend. That's going to help you stay up to date whenever I post a video, whenever that might be. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. I always appreciate that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey, don't forget, there's written documentation on every behavior, even the ones I haven't covered yet, in video format on my website at www.bloodmooninteractive.com. Be sure to check that out. And if you'd like to learn more, maybe check this video out next.